What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today it's not going to be about match reactions. It's not going to be any football tactical analysis type of thing. Anything. I want to talk about some signings that I think Manchester United should make. Right. With Casemiro leaving and hopefully playing European football and playing all the cup competitions, going deep into the cup competitions. I think there's a lot of squad building that United need to make, not just in terms of buying first team starters, but also going in the market looking for backups, good backups, right? So as of right now, the available midfielders that United have are Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Menu, Casemiro, Ugarte, and Fletcher twins. I think these are. Uh, Sorry if I forgot someone, but I think these are the right now the available midfield options that United hold, and of course the thing why is it working this season? Because we're out of all the cup competitions, no European football. Premier League is the only thing that Manchester United is playing. So far we haven't had any problems with squad depth. But going into next season, with the way the Carrick is building the United team, with the way that United is playing right now, it looks like they are going to get the top division of European football. They're going to get Champions League football, and of course, are going to still be in cup competitions, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and yeah, I think those for United to be competent enough in all of these, of course, they need more squad depth. They need quality in those midfield positions. And Casemiro has announced, sadly, Casemiro is leaving Manchester United at the end of the season, and potentially Harry Maguire is leaving. We don't know anything about his contract situation yet. People are saying Harry Maguire is willing to take a pay cut to stay in to stay in Manchester United. So we're not aware of anything. But defensively, there's so far we have Delict, Licha, Harry Maguire, Lenny Oro, and Aiden Heaven. Amazing defensive depth. I think these are quality defenders. They could easily compete in Europe and play against big teams like Real Madrid, Barca. They could. It's a defense that I think that could compete against the bigger side of the European spectrum. Um, and yeah, so these I think the list that I'm going to give right now are going to be the perfect ones to play in Manchester United. So firstly, of course, there's three names that Manchester United is constantly linked to, which are who are Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, and Adam Wharton. And Adam Wharton seems like the most unlikely transfer to happen because the other two, Baleba and Anderson, are being talked more by the fans of Manchester United, by the links, by Fabrizio Romano or any football journalist. Elliot Anderson and Carlos Baleba are the most heard names in the United dressing room as of right now. And I'm gonna be honest, I think out of these three, Elliot Anderson seems like the perfect pick for me. 100 million English midfielder, young English midfielder, playing for the national team, going into potentially going into the World Cup. Probably 199%, he has to go to the World Cup with the kind of performances he's been putting on this season. He's the only player this whole season to play every single minute of football, right? Um, Ranks first in ball progressions or just getting the ball recoveries. And defensively, I think with Casemiro leaving, he is the best option because I think with Carlos Baleba defensive side, he's very amazing. But Casemiro has that kind of ball technicality that I only see in Elliot Anderson. I think that's the kind of aspect, the ball carrying ability, the ball progression aspect. That's what Carlos Baleba lacks, and I think that's what Elliot Anderson also has in his arsenal. For him to replace Casemiro and he's not. Manu is, I think he's considered for United. He's like the box to box defensive midfielder. He's not, a defensive midfielder. Like he's not the dog of the defense. So with that, if Adam Wharton is placed in a midfield double pivot with Kobe Menu, there's not going to be enough physicality in those six positions for United to be defensively competent. And I think Elliot Anderson is the one that could drop into the defense, make a back three during build up, or he could be the physicality next to Kobe Menu, and then I think those are the two midfielders that could complement each other really well. And there are so many other wonder kids in Europe that are very discussed, but I don't think are very heavily linked to United. But one option that I really like that I think should come back to United is James Garner. I know he's signed a long term contract at Everton until about 2030, I think. But if there is a way that United could bring back James Garner into the setup again, it would be amazing. The season that he's having at Everton is just pure class, amazing. He started every single match. He started all the 24 matches, played 2,000, played more than 2,000 minutes, and in the past month and a half, I've not seen him have a single bad game. Not just this month, but overall this season, he's been amazing. Against Arsenal, he was amazing. Against Aston Villa, oh my God, he bossed the midfield of Aston Villa. I think he had an amazing game. I think Everton won that game 1-0, January 18th. Completely bossed that midfield, James Garner. And not just that, against the physicality of Arsenal's midfield, I would say Arsenal's midfield is probably one of the most physical midfields if in the Prem, not if in the world. And James Garner just completely bossed that midfield that game. And he's coming off an amazing game against Brighton where Everton drew 1-1. Sunderland, amazing game. He scored a goal in the FA Cup. Unfortunately got knocked out, but still, he is having a season of his life right now in Everton, and it'd be amazing. James Garner was linked to Manchester United, but it would be amazing if if they could get James Garner back into the setup, and then he could complement, just be like a sub or even compete with Manu for the spot. And yeah, that those are the two midfielders that I think are good that are very good options for the midfield. And going and to be honest, with Casemiro gone and with I don't potentially Manuel Ugarte leaving the club, I don't think two midfielders would be enough, right? So that means we would be going into every single game with only four midfielders into European nights, whatever cup competitions. But I think there needs to be more midfielder signings. And with the interview that Bruno Fernandez has dropped in this season, right? I don't know if I'm fully sure whether Bruno is going to stay in Manchester United, potentially leaving this summer. There was a report from Indicalia earlier this season, or I think about 2 3 months ago, that a Saudi club has submitted a 135 million proposal for Bruno Fernandez, and not just that, he was heavily linked to Al Hilal during the summer, with the club I think accepting the bid, but the manager not, and then the Bruno deciding to stay at Manchester United. And Bruno did reveal all of this stuff in the interview that he had with the Rio. I think it was with Rio, right? And if the club accepted the bid back then, I don't know. I'm sure that they would take the 135 million bid that they had for Bruno. But the thing is, Bruno's just so integral for Manchester United. Every attack that happens, it comes through Bruno and it comes through Kobe Manu. That we've been seeing in the past three or so games, right? Bruno and Kobe are the heart of every single attack, every single counter attack that Manchester United made, and losing out on Bruno would be such a big loss for United because no one will be no one ever will be able to fill Bruno's shoes in Manchester United. He has 63 chances created or something this Premier League season, and there's about a 20 uh, gap between him and the second guy. That's just how brilliant Bruno Fernandez is. Big chances created. He ranks the highest. He has the most assists. He has the most assists in Premier League this season, and he has the second most assists in leagues this season. With first being Michael Olise, he had 15 in the Bundesliga, with Bruno being at 12 in the Premier League. No other player has hit a double-digit number of assists in their respective leagues. That's just that's just wild. That's just insane to think about. Dropping, bangers and bangers performances in a row. I think Bruno Fernandez is playing his best football right now he's ever played in his career. And it would be sad to see Bruno leaving. I don't think I'm ready to see Bruno leaving Manchester United, but it is something that is inevitable. So I think if Bruno were to stay next season, I would still buy a Bruno replacement essentially. So that player could work under Bruno, learn from Bruno. You're like, yeah, this is what it means to play for Manchester United. If you were to take over my role, this is what you have to be doing. This should be your main attributes. So it would be good if Bruno Bruno stays another season, and then we bring in a young player or a relatively young player into the setup, and then they learn under Bruno's guidance. So I made a three-player shortlist. First one being Romano Schmid. Romano Schmid this season has been creating chances at an elite level. He plays for Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. I think he's 25 years old right now. But oh my God, this guy is creating chances like anything. He has the most big chances created this season, along with Joshua Kimmich. And I think he has the most chances created for an attacking midfielder in the Bundesliga this season, with 5 assists and 2 goals, and it's just amazing. He has his stats being that expected goals. He has 2 goals with zero point 0.1 per 90. It's just 5 assists, 0.26 per 90, which ranks him in the 85th percentile in the Bundesliga with total XA of 6.06, 0.33 per 90, with 54 chances created in the Bundesliga, with 2.76 chances created per match, which places him in the 98th percentile in the Bundesliga, which is just elite. He has 11 chances total, big chances created this season, which is about 0.56 big chances created per 90, which that's just elite level stuff, with 54 key passes, 2.76 in the league. Um, and the same thing goes with Bruno. You could see similarities with Bruno's play, right? So passes completed. Romano Schmidt has, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Romano Schmidt, but he has about 846 passes with 443.3 passes per 90, with Bruno's stats being 1,160 passes completed with 57.8 per 90. And Bruno he's just the heart of everything. So Bruno, of course, he's going to have more chances created. And Bruno played a more deeper role this for the first half of the season under Amarim, which did allow him to, needed him to pass more, receiving the ball off the center backs, just playing it out into empty spaces. It needed Bruno to pass more, but I think we're able to see similarities here, right? Of course, he's not Bruno. Bruno's just an other level elite player. But yeah, I think Romano Schmidt, though, with the kind of creativity that he holds, with the kind of output that he has in terms of chances created, assists, or goals, whatever, I think if he could, get some guidance under Bruno, if he's able to come to Manchester United at a very nominal fee, I think he's valued around 30, 25 or 30 million right now, which is, I think, very good, very nominal for a player of his quality. Could argue for around 25 million, right? So if Bruno stays another year and Romano Schmidt comes under and plays under Bruno for one more season, that'd just be amazing. He could, learn more under Bruno. And the second option that I thought was maybe kind of unlikely, but Bilal El Khanous. As we know, he plays for Leicester City and on loan to Stuttgart this season. 6 GA, 12 games he started with over 1,000 minutes played, and he's also creating chances at an elite level this season for an attacking midfielder. He's ranked uh, in the 93rd percentile for attacking midfielders that created chances this season. So he's relatively very young. He's very young. He's 21 years of age, and if he's able to come to Manchester United, could be a long-term option, long-term replacement for Bruno Fernandes, and just be a great option. One more player from the Bundesliga. Why I'm looking at the Bundesliga is, there's been so much attacking midfield talent that has come through Bundesliga, like Jamal Musiala, be it Florian Wirtz, right? They're just players that create chances at an elite level. It's very creative based matchmaking in Bundesliga. So I'm looking through the Bundesliga right now, and then I found Arjon Ibrahimovic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's on loan at FC Heidenheim from Bayern Munich. His market value is very low. His market value is about like 10 million right now, I think. And then he can play multiple positions. He can play as an attacking midfielder, as a winger. Those are his main positions. He's 20 years of age, from Germany. His contract ends in 2027. He's 5'10", has 2 assists this season, has started 16 games, and he's coming off a good game off of against Borussia Dortmund, and he's ranked at the 84th percentile for chances created for attacking midfielders in the Bundesliga this season. I'm saying he's a good option because he's very young, and then he's someone that could develop under Bruno Fernandes and under Michael Carrick. So these are three midfield options that I think are good replacements for Bruno in the near future. Just thinking about if the club will let go of Bruno this season, I hope they don't. I because Bruno's just too integral for Manchester United. He could easily, I think, give 2 to 3 more seasons for Manchester United. But with the way the club was behaving, with the bid that was submitted for Bruno from Saudi, it looks very much likely that they could accept the bid again and let go of Bruno yet again. Not yet again. Let go of Bruno. So hopefully he doesn't leave. But I think these are three good options that I think that might be well for Bruno Fernandes, right? Um, Thinking about defensive depth right now, defensively, I think we're very strong. We have two young defenders, and Delict relatively young, 26 or 27, and Licha on the higher end of his 20s. I think he's going to be 29 by the start of next season. And with Harry Maguire's contract situation, hopefully he stays in the club because Harry Maguire is definitely one of the leaders of the dressing room. He's been playing at United for a pretty long time. So in the recent seasons, he's made a really good comeback defensively. He was very good against Man City, Arsenal, and Fulham, except the mistake that he made that led to a penalty. So it'd be great if Harry Maguire could stay another season, be the leader of the dressing room. But surely, I don't think we need any more reinforcements in the defensive side of the game. But we do need to look at the fullbacks definitely because Diogo Dallo or Mazraoui should not. I don't think Mazraoui, high quality player, but I think he's 29 years old, and Diogo Dallo, man, I think he needs to leave the club. This season, he has a decent season, but we should look at how many mistakes he's been making throughout his whole career as a Manchester United player. And I think it's high time we let go of both Diogo Dallo and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is the only player that started every single game for United, but I don't know, he's 30 years old, and I think we need to go for younger options to replace Luke Shaw and Diogo, the likes of Luke Shaw and Diogo Dallo. I mean, it could be that we continue playing Dorgu as left back or left winger. We're not sure what Dorgu's position will be next as of next season, but I think we need to look at better options as better fullback options because as we are going to Europe next season, obviously, I do not see United not making Europe next season and cup competitions. And I think we need elite fullbacks. We need quality fullbacks on both the sides. And I think as right back, which might be unlikely because he's been linked to Man City a lot, and he's very injury prone. But Tino Livramento, he is a quality player. Can play on either side. He can play as a left back or a right back. He has his injury problems. He's been linked to Man City a lot, and with Matthias Nunez being a constant starter and having a really good season at Man City, there might be a chance Tino Livramento might look towards another club, and Manchester United is probably one of the clubs that could give him a chance every single game. Arsenal, they have Jurien Timber, Chelsea, Reece James, Spurs have Pedro Porro, but he's not going to go to Spurs obviously. Man City have Matthias Nunes, so I think his options are either Man City or Manchester United in terms of the Prem, without thinking about us like likes of Barca or Real Madrid, right? Um, I think Tino Livramento would be one of the best options from the Premier League this season, or Michael Coyote. He joined Brentford this season, was on loan last season, I think, and he's been producing numbers at an elite level for a fullback. Either him or Tino Livramento are probably the best options as for the right back position in Manchester United. Going towards the other side of the pitch, replacing Luke Shaw, it's either going to be Patrick Dorgu or I'm stealing Newcastle's fullbacks at this point. Lewis Hall, what a player! Just simply amazing. I don't know why Chelsea let go of him. I mean, they have Kukurea now, obviously, but Lewis Hall, what a player! He just win. He's just elite. In terms of attacking and defending. He reminds kind of just occupying the whole left flank. He kind of does remind me of Theo Hernandez from the 2021 and 21-22 season. Lewis Hall, amazing fullback. It's either him or though. Speaking of Theo Hernandez, I mean he's in Saudi right now, so there might be a chance Theo Hernandez could come to Manchester United, maybe, but probably not. That's probably unlikely. So I think Lewis Hall or Malik Diouf. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Of West Ham, what a player! He played for Senegal and Afcon. Had an amazing tournament playing for West Ham this season. He was, one of the most talked about players at the start of the season, but I think he kind of had a drop in form, but still a player that has amazing quality. Malik Diouf and Lewis Hall. I think these are my two fullback options that I would be looking at in terms of left back, and right back probably Tino Livramento. So I think these would be the signings that I think United should be looking to make. And oh, I forgot one more midfield signing. The one that I'm really liking these days is Ismail Saibari. Saibari, he had an amazing AFCON. He could play multiple positions. He could play as a 8, a 6, or a 10. So Ismail Saibari is also a name that Manchester United should be looking at. So as we talked about, Elliot Anderson. Oh, we talked about many players. Elliot Anderson, Romano Schmid, El Kanous, Bilal El Kanous. We talked about Aryon Ibrahimovic. We talked about Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, Michael Coyote, Malik Joff, and such. So Premier League right now has such a good amount of talent, making one of the best leagues in the world. And I think Manchester United should use as much as they can, should buy as many players as they can to increase squad depth and to make sure that we retain top. We retain. We should be looking to win the title next season, obviously, because we already have a good quality squad, and then we should be looking to improve the squad in this summer. Sign about 7 players just to increase the amount of squad depth. Have like a 300 million, 350 million budget, and I think it's very much doable. Getting the players that I mentioned, I think it's very much doable for a club like United, and I hope these signings do come. And all of you saw it here first. Okay, thank you. Have a great day, guys.